Simón Bolívar siempre anheló para nosotros.
Este niño es aquí vivo reflejo de la patria venezolana del siglo XXI. Él es la patria, ellos son la patria nueva. ¡Que vivan los niños y las niñas!
¡Que viva!
¡Que vivan los adolescentes y las adolescentes! ¡Que viva la patria!
Ellos participaron para seguir las huellas de Simón Bolívar en su campaña admirable. Tras un arduo debate, Telesur ya seleccionó a los 4 jóvenes latinoamericanos que a partir del 6 de agosto transitarán los caminos que hace 200 años recorrió el Libertador.
Encontrarme con mi país y con su historia.
Despierta el gigante.
Todavía estoy que no me lo creo.
Hoy nos damos cuenta que la revolución de Bolívar está más viva que nunca.
Acompáñalos por Telesur en el inicio de una aventura sin precedentes. No te pierdas el inicio de una parte de tu historia. El recorrido apenas comienza. Campaña Admirable 2013. Solo por Telesur. Nuestro norte es el sur.
Información destacada a esta hora: el presidente Raúl Castro llamó al pueblo de su país a sumarse a la batalla contra las indisciplinas sociales, que dijo se han arraigado en la sociedad y ocasionado daños morales y materiales.
Alentadores.
Brasil pide explicaciones por espionaje de Estados Unidos, mientras Venezuela espera la ratificación de la solicitud de Edward Snowden para otorgarle asilo. Sigue sin nombrarse el primer ministro de Egipto. Este domingo continúan las manifestaciones de calle. Nuevas protestas en Turquía este domingo. Se escenificaron choques entre protestantes y efectivos policiales en la plaza Taksim. 5 muertos y 40 desaparecidos dejó un accidente de tren que transportaba petróleo al Canadá. El incendio sigue activo. Detalles de estas y otras noticias solamente en Telesur. Continúe con nosotros.
All right, something that I never knew was that I knew there were some dictators around the world, but did you know that some of the dictators now apparently, allegedly, are drug addicts as well? That might explain a few things. Hugo Chavez now admitting in a speech that went widely undocumented, by the way, that he chews cocoa every morning, and he also eats something called cocoa paste, which, by the way, is addictive. And he gets it from the dictator in Bolivia.
What did you say?
Coca.
It is coca.
Oh, coca.
Cocoa.
Oh, coca would be fine.
Listen.
See, I don't know my narcotics as well.
See, it's a shame. For a moment, Gretchen, when you just said cocoa, I'd imagine people all across America just spit up Cocoa Puffs.
They thought they were going to get a high out of it today.
I'm an Ovaltine guy, but that's for another time. But what you're saying is, I read that too, and then they were people, I guess the reporters went on to define, what is he talking about? He gets his cocoa paste.
Coca.
Coca. I got you going down the
You
coca
take the
path
paste
now.
from?
Bolivia dictator. Is he a dictator too?
Millions of people watch these shows consistently, night and day, throughout North America. Do they believe what they see? I hope not. But even the more serious end of the networks and print media in North America and Europe followed the lead of the Bush White House and divided the world into friends. That is, leaders who do what we want them to do, and enemies, leaders who tend to disagree with us.
Raul Castro and Venezuelan dictator Hugo Chavez, a declared enemy of the Bush administration.
I think that we have to view at this point the government of Venezuela as a negative force in the region.
This is the new Venezuela, being built with its own revenue from petroleum. Caracas is one of the showplaces of the Americas today because wise use has been made of the nation's income from oil, approximately half the profits on all petroleum sales. The national policy is to sow the petroleum back into the nation for physical construction, new industry, and public welfare.
After all, we made one recent huge mistake in Iraq, and it seems to me the worse the lie, the more often it gets repeated.
We do have solid evidence of the presence in Iraq of
al-Qaeda members.
With the help of the media's repetition of the Bush administration statements, more than 70% of Americans polled were convinced that Saddam Hussein was involved in the massacres of September 11.
Is there a smoking gun here?
Smoking gun is an interesting phrase.
The smoking gun that could come in the form of a mushroom cloud.
Why are we here? That's the question. Why are we here in this war? Where's the weapons of mass destruction? Why did it take you so long, Wolf, to finally take on Vice President Cheney? It took you to 2007 before you made the man mad.
Those are fair questions. And
I saw Dr. Sanjay Gupta over there embedded with the troops at the beginning of the war. He and the others of you in the mainstream media refused to ask our leaders the hard questions and demand the honest answers. And that's why we're in this war. We're in the 5th year of this war because you and CNN, Dr. Gupta, you didn't do your jobs back then, and now here we are in this mess.
The same strategy as Iraq was applied to the upheavals in South America. The electoral victory of Hugo Chavez, despite his many critics, was a triumph for Venezuelan democracy. But there is a problem with democracy. As practiced in the South, it can throw up politicians who refuse to accept the dictates of Washington. In the eyes of our leaders, the elected leader of Venezuela, Hugo Chavez, was and is a dictator.
The world's worst dictators, Hugo Chavez.
The Venezuelan president has become more dangerous to the U.S. than Fidel Castro ever was.
ExxonMobil says it's been ripped off by Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez.
The Latin American strongman.
There is such a thing as a killer clown, and he may be it in Latin America today.
Hugo Chavez is a dictator.
These rogue dictators like Chavez.
If you said, do you hate Hugo Chavez or Fidel Castro, I'd say, I hate those guys.
In the very front of the book, you quote Otto Reich, who is the former ambassador to Venezuela back in the 1980s, is saying that he's more dangerous than bin Laden, and the effects of Chavez's war against America could eclipse those of 9/11.
Chavez is supporting terrorism on a daily basis, is doing